Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Queen Sugar. So the episode started out with Ralph Angel and Darla outside of the jailhouse. Either it's a jail or it's a sheriff's department, one of the two. So anyway, he's outside with Darla and they're talking. And even though all this is going on, she's still kind of trying to encourage him. Of course, she's disappointed in his decision because this is, it's like you're putting your livelihood at stake. Like you've put your family out there to be chopped liver at this point. It's like you didn't think about it's like you were thinking about your family, but ultimately you didn't because you already know this is going to be your third strike, sir. Like, why? So anyway, he went inside not to turn himself in, but to see what information they had and to basically tell them people to leave him alone. Charlie is on her way, and she is getting a lawyer for him. And so now they got to play the waiting game. So she is talking to Darla while waiting on him to come from inside because at this point she's kind of thinking that he done went and turned himself in. And she was like, well, I wish he had said something to me before he turned himself in. So she was like, well, he didn't turn himself in. He's just, going in for questioning because they have been leaving messages at the house and everywhere else. And they done came by the real spot. Like, they looking for him. So he's trying to be cooperative. So they're talking about it. And Charlie, had even called Nova before that to let her know what was going on and was like, when you get a chance, get down here. She don't even know that Nova's life is shredded to pieces at this point, but Nova is trying to push through and be there for her brother. So now we see Billy and Prosper at the house, and they're having an amazing conversation, and finally a real conversation about what happened long time ago. Because after all that stuff happened, where pretty much the whole town was talking about her and everybody believed what Jimmy Dale said and didn't even give her an opportunity to even say anything at all. She just up and left and never came back, pretty much. So they were talking, and it's crazy because while they were in the middle of talking, Hollywood, excuse me, y'all, Hollywood ended up calling, and so Billy kind of felt like, oh, here we go. And he put Hollywood on speakerphone on purpose. And so he was like, man, I just wanted to be the first one to tell you because I already know word probably gonna spread around, but I ain't wanted to get to you a different way. I wanted to let you know that, Ralph Angel in trouble and he down at the police station and we got all this stuff coming on, going down or whatever. So normally Prosper is Johnny on the spot and he gonna be there. And so he was like, well, I got my own personal stuff going on here, but, it is what it is. So, Hollywood took it and was like, oh, okay, then I understand that. It's cool. So Billy looking like, wait a minute. What? Because normally he puts the borderlines above her. And he didn't even realize that until she had to flat out tell him, like, I am invisible. I don't even know why we are related at this point because every time I try, you just dismiss me. So I don't even know why I'm even here at this point. So, like I said earlier, Darla and Charlie are waiting on Ralph Angel to come out. He ended up coming out, and Darla is happy to see him. And she was like, did they touch you? All of this. And later on, he was talking to Charlie one-on-one, and he wanted to know, like, what was the lawyer looking like and what was going on. And he straight up told her what he did. And he was like, look, you ain't got to worry about that. I didn't give up no information. I didn't implicate myself in nothing, and I just straight up told him to stop messing with my family. So everybody met up at Charlie's house so he could fully explain himself. So while he explaining himself, everybody tied in their spirit because it's like, we done been through this with you. Why are you doing this? You already know you finna be on your third strike. So Hollywood has set it up. Hollywood was tied this season, this episode. Hollywood was tied to his entire spirit. So he done went off on him. And he was like, you stole that white man stuff. It don't matter what you think. So eventually he let everybody know that in his mind, he felt like he was getting what was owed to him because the soil had been tampered with. So now everybody is looking like, wait a minute, okay. Like, it's like, come on now. Like, I get it, but at the same time, he was over there stealing. It is what it is. They trash. Karma gonna come back on them. Karma already be coming on them anyway, back on them anyway. It is what it is. But yeah, Once he said that, he was like, I was just getting what was owed to me. They looking like, what you talking about? So it was so crazy because Charlie was looking like, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to my lawyer and tell him what was going on. And basically was like, we're just going to tell them that, it was a misunderstanding. You were supposed to do some work for him. And like literally trying to make it seem like it's a whole situation that they agreed upon. But now he trying to make it look like something that is not. Child, Hollywood to set it off again. Like I told y'all, Hollywood set it off like, you stole that white man stuff. And I was like, oh Lord, sir, Hollywood went off. So anyway, then come to find out Theo, the dude that rolled up on him and propositioned him about this job, has been released. So this is looking really, really terrible for Ralph Angel now, because it's like, how he get released? He got released because he made one phone call to the one person that don't nobody need him to be making a phone call to. And he made it all happen. He called Sam Landry and then all the charges were dropped. So now everything is looking like straight up Ralph Angel did it. He the one going to be put on the cross and crucified for all of this if it goes the way that Sam Landry and them wanted to go. So I'm like, child, it don't even make no sense. But it's to the point where everybody reading him and was like, you could have came to us. You could have came to any one of us. Violet, one of the main ones, talking the loudest. You could have came to any one of us. You didn't have to do this, whatever. So he was like, really? Really, could I? Because weren't you the one who just told me I wasn't a man for sending my son away to better himself and all this other stuff? He went all the way around the room. Oh my gosh. Everybody was looking like, ooh, wait a minute. So after they had their little moment, she was like, look, no matter what, I love you. And he said, I love you no matter what too. So anyway, Billy and Prosper are still discussing the Billy Dale situation in its entirety. Like she was talking to him about from the beginning to the end, how it all started. He was rolling up on her whenever she would visit Nova at the house. He'll be over there, I guess, with Violet or something. And he would like make conversation with her and make her feel grown because he acted like he saw something in her. So when he wanted to take it to the next level, she was like, nah, he wasn't trying to hit it. She knocked him out. I mean, and then it was just like, Prosper was very shocked because she was like, you did teach me how to fight. And he was like, yeah, you did have a mean, what he said, right hook or something he said. Like, I'm just like, child, you done taught this heifer how to fight and everything, or she done fought this man off. He kept being very, very apologetic for, not even allowing a conversation to happen or reaching out. Like, it was just almost like his silence was validating what Jimmy Dale said as truth. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You need to have a conversation. There's just too many people around here getting away with this in the family and who are close to the family and have dealings with the family and are family friends and getting away with this stuff. They go to hell when they die, but they live on earth to terrorize and potentially terrorize other people. I don't like that. I do not like all of that at all. That's why when I did my video about my uncle molesting me, not long after I said something, he passed away. He passed away like 6 months after all that happened. He ended up having to have a hip replacement surgery or something like that. And within 6 months after I told on him, he died. And in my mind, I was like, ding dong, the evil man is dead. Like, it's just how I felt. I was 12 years old. So you never know. Don't nobody have time. It's just too much. I don't like stuff like that. I don't like it. And it's crazy because she actually told her mama. So he was in his feelings like, well, why do you come and tell me? You could have told me. You could have told me. She was like, Daddy, I couldn't have told you. Like, because he was like, I would have handled him. Like, you should have told me. And so she was like, I couldn't tell you. And I told Ma, and she told me that I was out here dying and bopping. I'm over here dressed the way I was dressed. So I deserve what was coming to me. And so he was like, your mama from a different time. And I'm just like, child, I cannot. Like, I know that there are children that be out here lying, but my thing is this. If my own child come to me and say something like that, we finna investigate. And somebody gonna get beat. Somebody getting a whooping. The child gonna get a whooping, or the person who I find out my child ended up telling the truth on is getting beat down. Somebody getting whooped around these parts. So anyway, but yeah, he just continuously apologized for not being there and supporting her and all that, y'all. So Violet, at the end of the conversation, she was like, I'm gonna go handle this right now. So she always make it seem like she has Sam Landry in her back pocket. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, what this heifer gonna do now? Because I could have swore that they were already squared away. So she done bust in the office. Hollywood made a point to be like, I'm going with you. And he did. And did. As the people say, and did. And so she went up in there and was like, you owe me. You've done too much to my family. Child, he presented receipts. Well, all of this was conspired from the beginning to see if they could get to somebody in the family. And they were able to get to Ralph Angel. Because Ralph Angel thought he disconnected all the cameras, but he didn't, because he didn't know about the other ones that had been set up to trap him. So he presented a folder that had pictures of Ralph Angel in all these different areas that he knew nothing about. And so they looking like, really, this is what you're going to do? So she was just like, you're wrong, whatever. He was like, look, all I know is you have no more cards left to play. Well, Violet was about to be on her way walking out the door when Hollywood just stayed there. So she was kind of looking like, what is going on here? So he set it off and was like, what you gonna do is what you supposed to do. You gonna make this right, because this is agricultural terrorism that has gone on around here. So he was like, really? What are you talking about? So he let him know about them knowing that the land was poisoned and all this other stuff. And he was like, I don't understand what you're talking about, but I would have a field day watching this be dragged out in court. So it's just a mess. Like, Hollywood is tired in his spirit. Like, Hollywood be going to bat for folks. He be setting it off. So anyway, yeah. Pretty much he was like, there is only one way that this ends. There's only one thing that you can do to end this, because you already know you ain't gonna win in court. Child, y'all already know what it was gonna be. As soon as he said that, I was like, child, this is finna be bad. Like, the show pretty much must be gonna end this season, because how? He is gonna have to sign over the land to him. People don't understand. That's why it makes me so mad when people get land and they sell it to money hungry people who know that land is valuable. That's why I can't stand it. That irks my soul. That irks my soul. And we have a decent amount of land, let me say that, that my parents and other relatives pay taxes on every year. And my grandfather made sure that we had land and all of that before he passed away, because he wanted his children and grandchildren and those who come after us to have something to call our own, because we've had to fight so much just to get the little bit that we do have. So anyway, y'all, I just hate when people get land and then they just sell it just to make a quick buck, not understanding that there's way more value in the land than the money that you get, the temporary money that you're going to have in your pocket. So I digress. So anyway, yeah, that's the only way everything is going to go away. So they looking like, Lord, shoot, I don't know what the lawyer going to do, because the lawyer already looking sideways at him like, okay, this situation ain't going to pan out too good for him. I don't know about all that. So Micah is at the schoolhouse doing a presentation. Y'all, when I tell y'all, when I saw him doing that, I was like, ain't no way I could have been going to college or any school for that matter, having to do a presentation with my mask on. I would already be on the verge of hyperventilating back in the day. From elementary up until college, I hate doing presentations in front of people. I hate it. I don't care if it's a room full of people I know my entire life. I can't do it. I start sweating. It could be freezing cold in there. I start sweating bullets before the end of my presentation. I can't. I would have hyperventilated and blacked out if I had to do that in a day and age like now, where you have to wear a mask. I can't do it. But anyway, he did a great presentation. His teacher tried to challenge him, and she was impressed by the growth that he had. So the heifer rolled up after class and was like, oh, I seen all the growth that you made. And she basically was trying to see what it was hitting for, because she was trying to spread them thighs and butt cheeks. And he was like, yeah, like you said, I've grown. See you later. instructor, whoever, a professor, whatever. I was like, whoa, you done went off. She really did try to roll up, and then she was looking like a crazy fool when he walked off. So anyway, information got back to Ralph Angel about the terms, and he ain't trying to hear it. Like, he is tired. Everybody looking at him like, I don't know what you think. What we gonna be able to do? Like, it's about to be your third strike. You have to think about your family. And he talking about, but what about the legacy? Man, Hollywood had to set it off again. He was like, oh, these women up here love you. They over here fighting for you. They didn't sit up here and they really did sit up there and create all kinds of scenarios that would possibly be in his favor. They really are trying to think of any way they can. They are, everybody wants him. Nobody cares about the land at this point. Of course, it's terrible because it is a part of y'all's legacy. It's terrible. But what are you gonna do? Go to jail? And then in my mind, I'm like, even if he had took that and said, you know what, I want this land to stay in my family, the Landrys were gonna find a whole nother way to steal that land from up under them, whether he want to believe that or not. I don't care what he say. I'm telling you, when people want stuff like that, they will come at you from every different type of angle they can. Telling you from experience. So anyway, but yeah, after everybody pleaded their case, he rolled up on Nova and looked at Nova. Child, Nova looked at him with tears in his eyes, and he was like, what about mama? So, of course, Charlie had to say that, you know, they're going to have to probably arrange for her remains to be removed and put next to where their daddy buried and all this other stuff. It's like, you got to disturb her body. You got to disturb her final resting place, man. In like her favorite place. That's her favorite place. Y'all, when I tell y'all, Ava DuVernay, ma'am, why are you trying to make me cry? Like, why? Like, it took everything in me with this scene not to cry. Like, stop it. So anyway, but yeah, he still ain't really trying to hear that. So yeah, he had to, like I told y'all earlier, Hollywood had to read him and tell him, you stole them white folks stuff. Your freedom is worth more than this land. Everybody tired. So anyway, he ended up going in Blue's room and he looked at Kenya, the little doll. And you know how he was about Kenya initially, but he looked at that doll and smiled, and then he ended up calling his son, leaving him a message, told him that he hoped that he is enjoying himself at the school and all this other stuff, and left a message. So he could tell that Darla was in the doorway. So he looked back, he was like, go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I know you got something to say. So she basically told him, I'm angry, I'm furious. He gonna try to tell what you got a right to feel that way. She was like she had to say it all. Cause it's like, don't do it. So anyway, she was like, I sat up here and I bottled all this up on the inside because you made me feel like I was making up something in my mind. She was right the entire time. So she had to bottle up all of her anger and put up this front. And all this stuff was going on. Like, you could have lost your whole family, sir. Like, in this moment, she could really be mad enough to be like, I want a divorce. I don't want nothing to do with you. You better find a way to pay this child support that's about to be coming. Like, she could legit be like, I'm tired. Like, you really tried me. Everybody understands that you had these loans and stuff out there. Like, he even told them that. Like, he had all these loans that he couldn't even pay back no more. So he felt like that's what he had to do. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. So anyway, she encouraged him yet again. Like, she encourages him so much, child. She encouraged him, and because he was just like, he's still trying not to lose hope in himself and all this other stuff. So they embraced and all that. Child, Nova is at her house still trying to clean up. Like, she's finally at a point where she's trying to clean up, and her house was ransacked and then some. And Charlie dropped by. So she was like, well, I just came and dropped by because I wanted to, check on you. I'm telling you, Charlie been having impeccable time this season, like, for real. And ultimately she was like, yeah, I'm not doing good. And so she let him know that them people rolled up to her house. She was like, what? She came in the house, saw that the house was destroyed. And she was like, they came in here and they were trying to terrorize me. She broke down. They had a sister, very, very close moment. And she let her know that they didn't take anything from you. They only gave to you. They gave you more fire and more power. So Nova is accepting of that. And she's like, okay. So Prosper and Billy this is the day after, because she was about to leave out. And then that call came through. She was gonna leave on out for real then, and then she stayed. So she ended up finding a cookbook that her mama had or something like that and made breakfast for him. And she was like, I got cereal on standby just in case it's nasty, because she cannot cook at all. It's disgusting. Can't even make coffee. So anyway, the breakfast ended up being good. Prosper was here for it. And then he asked her, if she thought that she might be able to stay around a little bit longer because the kids are grown and gone and the husband should be okay. And so she was like, I think about it. So she a little happy. Her daddy acting like he want her around. I'm like, I'm here for it too. So Nova ended up, not Nova, Violet. I don't even know why I put Nova right there. Violet ended up meeting up with the heifer Celine, who tried to kiss Hollywood. She found out where this heifer was. The heifer apologized over and over again, and her excuse was she doesn't know who she is without a man. She always had a man in her face and always had to have a man in her life. And I'm like, I hear you, but girl, you really sat up there and bit the hand that fed you, like literally, and then some. Like you really tried it. Like she kept on apologizing, and she told her, look, when I was with my first husband, I was straight out of high school or whatever. I ain't know nothing. But when I left him, he told me I would never be nothing. And I would never find nobody that would be better than him or whatever. And look what she got. So, of course, this heifer to me said, yes, you Queen Vi, whatever. Like, she wasn't reading in that moment or nothing. She was just like, basically saying that she's envious of her situation and she probably got the last good man that ever was and all this other stuff. And she was like, trust me, I already know what I got. So you ain't got to tell me what I got. But she politely told this heifer, this is going to be the last thing you get from me. I got a lot of stuff going on in my family, so I ain't going to be able to see you or Gabriel. It is what it is. This heifer looked like she was going to die because you had a good friend. She had a good friend, and Vi politely took this heifer's hand, put it on the table. I was like, no, Violet. No, I get it, though. But, gave her a little check, I guess, and said, this is the last thing I'm going to do for you. I was like, woo, child, you done went all the way off, and I'm here for it. So anyway, she was like, look, basically, I had to establish healthy boundaries within my relationship. And, the heifer said she going to start going to therapy. Hopefully that'll help, because she need to do something. So anyway, Charlie called that man and said that she's running for Congress and all this other stuff. And right now, they have to figure out if she's going to be a better fit for Louisiana or for California, because I guess both seats are open. Sam ended up rolling up on the farm, literally. He rolled up. And now he's going to have to find somewhere else to live. I can't tell if he said 4 to 5 days or 45. I think 45 should be right, but I don't know. But anyway, they're going to have to get up off the premises because y'all know that the house sits on the land. So, and Sam killed me because he legit tried to sit up there and have small talk with him. He said, I don't give a about your daddy, and you didn't give one about mine either. He was like, yeah, you're right. Like, I hate when people want to try to have small talk. It's like, you know why we here. You know why we are here. Draw up the paperwork so we can get this over with. Leave me alone. But that's how it ended, child. He went out to the field and just looked out and gazed, because I'm like, shoot, you ain't gonna be able to do that much longer. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed the recap review of Queen Sugar. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Oh my gosh, I get my entire life every time I watch it. Anyway, y'all, please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Thumbs up this video for me. Pretty please. And let's get down in the comment section and discuss what we've seen. All right. Y'all take care. Be safe out there. And I will see y'all later on for something else.